Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Developer Dynasty for Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2021. This is our third week of doing the Developer Dynasties. We've been doing basketball on Tuesday nights at 7:30, and we've been doing Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2021 on Friday nights at 7:30. And we've had a really good turnout for these Developer Dynasties. And it's really helping us develop the game, and as we're getting pretty much real time feedback on things we're doing, things that that the community wants to see. We're able to make changes very quickly and add some new things very quickly that have been suggested in the chats. So we're going to go for a half an hour tonight talking about a couple of new additions in the past week as Pro Basketball 2021 moves along in this development. Before we start, I want to take a quick second to thank first our subscribers to the channel. Whether you have the ability to just simply subscribe to support us, or if you have a free Twitch Prime account because you have Amazon Prime, and you can use your one free monthly subscription on our channel. And everything you do along those lines helps to support us and support our efforts here as we sort of get used to the Twitch world and streaming, and hopefully bringing you some interesting content that other gamers aren't doing because they're playing the games. We're actually using this platform right now to help develop the games and help get feedback from our customers. As you can see, we have the chat box here. Please feel free to post any questions, suggestions, things you like, things you don't like, things you're talking about, things you want to talk about next week, things you want to see improved. Put those in the chat box, and I'll make sure to respond to all of them and answer the questions. Thank you to our new followers. We have some new followers today: Maddie7478 and Margon. So thank you to our new followers. If you aren't following us yet, please follow and hit that turn that notification on so that you know when we go live, and you can join us. So very excited to talk about some of the new things I've been working on this past week. We sort of teased that there were some trade updates again, some improvements to the game presentation, some new features there, and also a new kind of thing I've been working on. And I'm going to start right with that newest item. As you look at the main menu, for people familiar with the game, you'll see a new option down here, and it's called database editing. So what I'm working on right now is allowing you to have a way inside the game here to edit some of the default team options. So rather than doing it while you create leagues and doing it over and over again, if you're not using a mod or you just want to do it yourself, I'm working on giving you the ability to get these tables in here and edit the information here for the team names and the logos and stuff like that, so that you can do it. Once you do it once, it will be saved that way, and then every time you go to start a new league, you'll have that data already saved in there, so you won't have to continuously change the team names or logos or things like that, and you can kind of set that up that way. A question already, Marion, can we edit draft files? First of all, thank you for the follow today. Yes, you can edit. You can always edit and create draft files. I think that it's all done outside of the program though, so maybe that's another area that, as I start to explore more ways of editing things inside the program rather than requiring you to open a database program like SQL, like Studio. If you can, maybe we can build that into it where you can edit the files from within the game and make it a little bit easier for you. So that is something that I'm working on right now. Everybody can comment on that if that's something that will be helpful to you. Let's move on to some of the new things that we've been working on too. So last time we talked a lot about the trade the trade engine, the ability to will make the AI a lot smarter, give you some better options on the trade screen. One thing here we're going to do is I'm trying to help with the cap legality bit here. So in the past, if you throw that in there, it would tell you that it's just not legal. Right now, I've added the team up here who is not legal, so you can understand why if I add something to the trade here, it's telling me that Atlanta is still not legal in this trade, so that you can figure out which team needs to add more salary, and then we've added enough salary, and it makes the trade legal from a salary cap standpoint. One thing we didn't show last time was that the ability to get offers. So here I can click the button, get an offer, and the AI, if they want the player, they can tell me what they're willing to trade for that player, and if not, they can tell me that they're not interested in that player. There's also something I'm working on here that you can see with Noel down here, that players, when we get to the free agency portion, this isn't completed yet here, but you'll know who has a player option and can't be traded at that point. So they'll have a little slash here with the sign that says that they cannot be traded because they have an option that they have to exercise that only happened during the summer, so that you can't trade players who are might opt out and become free agents. So I'm working on that to make it a little bit more clear about when you can and can't do that. But last week we added, talked about adding this weaknesses up here, the team plan, so that you know what the team's doing. We added the notation for how many years left up here. And now we've added the ability to figure out, which team is not legal in the trade. So a lot of options have come to the trade screen, and it's been getting good feedback from people in the forums, people I've talked to privately about things. So that's a big plus for us. If you're not familiar with the game, or you're new to the game, I'm just going to throw this in the chat box here. There's free demos, and you can download obviously you can't download a demo of 2021 yet, but you can download the 2020 demo and play through that and see if you haven't gotten on board yet with the game, what you might like to see differently from 2020 to the 2021 version. So I talked about updates to the game presentation. There's a new icon on this screen for the on the play watch, or the daily schedule screen here. So we'll get to that in just a second, but I want to take a look at a couple of things on the 2D screen itself. So we made a couple of changes here on this screen. One of them that you might notice is that we moved the game controls and the play-by-play information from the top to the bottom. There's an issue in the 2020 games that if you double click in the upper area, it treats it like you're double clicking the taskbar, and it would change the size and sometimes affect the simulation. So that's been moved down to here. I did add the hotkeys in an update for 2020 that allows you to control the game with Control or Backspace to play or pause. So those will be available here too, but this information has been moved down on the screen here. Another thing we've changed is that there was a pop-up. Hold on, I'm going to turn the sounds off. Whoops, I shouldn't have clicked that. I'm going to mute these sounds. The pop-up that would show was a little bit jittery, and kind of took up space, and we end up turning it off if you run at the full speed, to try to speed things up a little bit. Again, this is in beta still, obviously. I'm going to have to stop it for just a second and bring it back. Technical issues is part of the process here. But we replaced that drop down with a smaller pop-up, which hopefully will be a little bit less intrusive. We'll see if we can get it to work this time. And if not, we'll just show it and then we'll exit out of it again. All right, so you'll still have the options up there, but there you'll see the pop-up here that will that replaces the big thing that used to drop down here and cover up some of the area. So hopefully that'll be a little bit less obtrusive, and it's still it shows the data we need to, and kind of gives you as if a color commentator type thing. When somebody makes a play or gets a rebound or something, it updates you to who's scored, who's got the rebound, how many they have, things like that. We've also changed if you push the speed all the way up to the top, we're changing it so that these bars won't update, because you really can't. You're not really playing the game at that point if you turn it up to the whole level. So we're trying to reduce the load of things that could be slowing it down, which we've seen somewhat on that highest speed level where things get bogged down toward the end of the game. So we're going to take some measures there to try to improve that. If there's anything in particular you're looking for in the 2D, the display, the presentation, leading up to it, leading into it, put it in the chat box. Let me know. We can talk about it. Everything's open. Everything is being worked on still. Obviously, you can see there's still some things to work out with it, but always looking to tweak things and improve them and make them a little bit better. One of the things I'm most happy with over the course of this week is this new little icon here on the daily schedule screen, which if you roll over it, it will give you a game preview. So we're going to click on that and pull it up here. This is going to give you a preview leading into the game, showing you the top players for each team in points, assists, and rebounds, as well as some stats that go along with that. It'll update you to the injured players for each team, so you'll know who will be out for this particular game. Gives you a look at the team stats, head-to-head, including their streak in their last 10. And at the top, per request from 2 weeks ago, we've added in some fictional lines. So you're going to get a favorite and an over-under for the game. Doing our best to try to estimate these things or put lines on these things or something like that from a real-time perspective. So it's going to take into effect injuries. It's going to take into effect home court. Obviously it will not be, it's, no betting line is ever right 100% of the time, or even, I don't even know how many percent of the time they are right. But this will give you an option to look at it. So, it's something fun that, again, was brought up in the chat by somebody a couple weeks ago. And so we spent some time doing it. And it's not just for your team either. It will be, well, we'll sim this game so we can go on to the next day. Every game will be able to be previewed. So it will tell you, who's probable, who's out, give you that update, all the stats head to head, and a look at things here. So if you're looking at this, at this screen, and there's something that you think, now there's not a lot of room left to go. We filled up a lot of the screen here with this information, but if there's something else that would be useful, kind of as a pregame type thing, throw it in the chat box. Let me know what you're thinking here. The request was for the betting line, because we added that into pro football last year, and I think people just kind of get a kick out of that sort of thing. So I kind of started there, and then I decided let's go, let's have a real preview of the game, because when I'm playing, I like to, I like to know exactly what's going on with my opponent for that game, and this prevents you from having to click back to the team roster, the team dashboard, whatever, and this gives you a much cleaner and quicker look at everything. So I'm pretty pleased with how this came out so far. If there's things that you'd like to see on it or something we can change with it, I'd be happy to look at that. But again, every game will be previewed, and you'll be able to see everything at a glance. And it's I think it's really useful to help keep up with what's going on in the league as a whole. And we try to push as much data as we can to you so that you can do that with like the league news here. And there's a ton of stuff in the league media, whether it's the daily news. We have the league news. Some people I think maybe don't understand what the difference between these two is. The daily news, every single day there's news generated from transactions or from, top players from the last game. So you can go and scroll through every single thing for a day. The league news kind of gives you the year-to-date transactions primarily, or other things that, in this case, this media blurb that says that the Pioneers are shopping Whiteside. So the league news kind of gives you the big stories for the year and the transactions for the year all at a glance there, whereas the daily news will give you everything that you need. And if you're on a day that hasn't been completed yet, you have the league news here. If you go back to a day that was completed, you have the best performances of the day and the ability to click a player card and bring that up. A couple of things in the chat box while I've been talking here. Mr. Kincaid bought 2017 in Steam, had a few crash early on, but now in the year 2034, best basketball sim out there. Thank you very much for that compliment. Unfortunately, there are sometimes crashes from time to time, but the one thing we make sure is if we have support channels all over the place on social media, Twitter, Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a dedicated support link on our homepage that will take you to our support ticketing system. We're always going to get back to you and track down whatever went wrong and fix it. And that's why we continue to update patches and things like that for the game so that we make sure that they are of the highest quality possible. And GM Games, Chris, checking in saying hi. Hello, Chris. Thanks for checking in. For anybody who doesn't know, you want to check out GM Games. They do some phenomenal work for the entire sports sim industry. We are, a very tight, small community, hopefully growing, with each new version of the game. And GM Games does a great job of bringing everybody from all sorts of different games to their site and putting out a lot of great streams and YouTube dynasties and stuff like that with our games. So check them out. They have a Discord channel and check out their YouTube stream and stuff like that, and see see people playing the games, so you can get an even better idea of what the games are all about. Let's see. There's enough room for their starting lineups right on the game preview screen. Let's see. Let's pull up a preview screen here. I don't know. We might be able to throw the lineup in here somewhere. We could probably make it maybe we can split the injury report and use this section of the screen. I'm gonna make a note of that. So that we can try to add that in. Of course, if you do watch the game, you do see the starting lineups before the game. Some people have mentioned, something about like having a pregame thing or a cutscene or something like that. If that's something that interests enough people, let me know. Throw it in the chat box if that's something that interests you. I don't know. It's something that we did I did it for college basketball. When you get to the the big dance, those games have a special presentation before the game starts. So I kind of think maybe something along those lines, maybe for a playoff game or something. But I think it would get old if it was for every game, and it's not going to be like like when you play 2K while it's loading the game and it shows you all these different things. But we can do a cutscene maybe for the playoffs, or maybe just the finals or something like that. Just so it's I want it to be special, So if that's something that would be of interest to you, let me know, and I can work on adding that in. If you're not familiar with the game and the cutscenes, they're just short little sequences that that we played before the draft and before the awards and stuff like that. The one before the draft is the best one, I think, because it sort of hypes you up for the draft and gives you some of the top players and things like that leading into the draft. So if you haven't tried the game and you get to the draft portion and you can see that cutscene, it's really phenomenal, and it changes too. There's a couple different ones. If you don't like the cutscenes, you can always mute the sounds in the games, and then it will skip the cutscenes and go right to the screen that you're supposed to go to. Let's see in the chat box. Yeah, absolutely. GM Games has some great helpful videos, and we've been talking to them and working with them, and they're going to do some more videos for our 2021 titles, so that it can help new people to the game, especially when we get into things like mods and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky, and if you have a video, it's a lot easier to follow, and they do a great job. So there's no reason for they're helping us and everybody else by doing that, and it takes something else off of our plate that we don't have to worry about getting done. We've looked at a couple of things here. The game preview in particular, for anybody who hasn't seen that or is new to the stream, just stopping in. That's new. If you have suggestions for that, I'd certainly take suggestions of that. Things you want to see on the 2D. We talked about a couple of things that are changing there, but always open to more suggestions there, especially as we redid it for 2020 to get all the options kind of there at your fingertips while you play. You don't have to change the screens anymore like you used to in 2019 and prior. I'll just pull it up again so that everybody knows what we're talking about here. All of your options for coaching during the game are here now. Prior to 2020, you used to have to go into the sub screen, coaching screen, and change things here. So that was a big change that came to 2020, and giving you all of these options right here. I think that's super helpful, just to have all of your coaching options and your ability to make changes right here. You've got your players stats down here. You've got your energy down here. So I think we've done a really good job of putting information on the screen, everything that you could need. If there's something that you would like to see differently with the 2D, please let us know. You can throw it in the chat box here, or any of our outlets. You can always reach us through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're on Twitch now. Support messages, and there's so many ways to reach us. So if there's something you want to see here with the 2D, definitely let me know. And then we talked about editing things, and I'll show you the editor that we're working on. This again is to edit the default file from within the game, so that if you make your edits once here, then you can edit them, save them here, and then when you go to create leagues, it will just use this data if you're not using mods. You can still download a mod file. You can still create your own mod file. We're just trying to give, I just want to give people, the ability to really customize things the way they want and to make it as easy on you as possible. So there was one suggestion about editing draft classes, possibly like this. If there's other things you want to edit, let me know. You can do quite a bit of editing from within the game already, whether it's 2020 or 2021. You just have to go into the commissioner office, and there is an option here to edit players, or you can even add a new player to the game. But you just pick the player that you want to edit. You can change his photo. You can change all of the information inside of the game here already, so you don't have to do the database editing if you don't want to. That is an option for people who like to edit things in the database. You can always export them and import them for that particular league into the SQLite databases. But a lot of people just aren't comfortable doing that, so I want to give people the option to edit things in the most convenient manner possible for them. I want to thank the viewers for coming to our stream tonight. This is something new for us, and it's really important and exciting for us to see people come to our streams. We've cut them down to a half an hour now, so hopefully it's a little bit easier to get to, or a little bit easier to watch later on if you can't make the stream during the portion that we're going live. But the feedback from the community is what really helps us develop these games and make them even better. There's a couple of chats coming in here, so I want to hit those before we end the stream. Let's see. Margon, being able to edit the draft files and more coaching options, a playbook that your team will run would be great. That's something that we can consider. There are set plays. I mean, it's something that we've done before. It's not something that a lot of people used, but it's something we can look at bringing back. Let's see, GM Chris. Let's see, I know real estate is limited in 2D, but hoping one day we can dress up the play-by-play log with more HTML, CSS stylization, kind of like an ESPN Gamecast. I think even the last play shows a player photo. We also used to have an actual Gamecast mode that just didn't do the 2D part. So I don't know if that's something that people are interested in bringing back. Nobody seemed to really miss it, when we didn't have it in 2020. But it's something that we could look at bringing back, or possibly combining here. Chris, I saw that you said you can share a link that you're interested in seeing. So yeah, share that link with me, and I'll see what we can do about that. And Gamer Rocco, longtime player of the series, another great ambassador online for the game for us. He likes 2019's numerical energy column in the 2D match more than the bar. Maybe we can Let's see. I'll make a note about that. Maybe we can get the numbers in there with the bar. I think I like the bar um, because um, it has a quick visual representation. So rather than looking and seeing a number for everybody, you can see that the bar went down to red. So that guy's really tired. He need to get out. And but if numbers help distinguish between two guys in the green that one's 80, 175 or whatever, it's a little bit easier to see that. Maybe we can look at that too. But I do like the colors there as they and the bar shortening. It makes it really easy to visualize at a glance who's getting tired. And then last one, Margon, are we ever going to do a pro football game? We have a pro football game. It's a very good pro football game. And check out our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, Margon, so you can see the developer dynasties we've been doing on Fridays for Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2021. You'll love it. It has a 2D visualization. It's got everything you could want. I mean, you will love that game, and definitely you can even go down. We posted the link earlier in the chat. Go grab a free demo of 2020. Now, with football, 2020 looks a lot different than 2021 is going to. The 2020 basketball games got put on our new platform, which is our AU platform that Sean Sullivan designed for us. That is the platform that makes these games look so phenomenal now that you're looking at right now for the 2021 games. The football games are moving to this platform for 2021. So everything, the way you're seeing here on pro basketball, that's what you're going to see for pro football 2021. And it's going to be a phenomenal product. So go check out those videos. We post them always to our YouTube channel afterwards because Twitch deletes them after like 2 weeks. So they'll always be on our YouTube channel, so you can go and see what we're working on there. I want to thank our new followers today. I want to thank our subscribers, most of all, who are supporting the channel. And I want to thank everybody who came to this stream. It's really important for us to be able to reach out and connect with you guys in this manner, so we can get. I mean, I've got a list of 5 or 6 things right here just from this short chat of things that I want to work on and things that I want to add. See if we can add in for the next week. So thank you everybody for coming to the stream tonight. We will see you hopefully on Friday night for our Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2021 stream. And I hope to see you back here next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. To see what else new has been worked on in Pro Basketball 2021 this week. So thank you, everybody, and have a great night.